welcome to this EHR enhancements portion of the Zoom training. Most of these enhancements are pretty minor, but we'd like to point them out to you anyway. The first thing I'd like to point out to you is here in the patient information bar. Right up here at the top, we do have the addition of the call log. I'm going to go ahead and click on this guy here. And what this does is basically opens up all of the phone calls that the patient has made to the clinic. So I'm going to go ahead and close this guy here. The benefit to that is basically where we wouldn't have to kind of click on plus and basically open all of those guys up to see the history of the patient's calls, or had the patient called in and said, I've called a couple times and I really haven't heard back from anyone. A quick and easy way to reference that without opening up a new encounter. Okay. The next thing, super minor change up here at the top, we basically renamed our PHI log to say HIMLOG, basically just to align with the verbiage that we use here at El Rio. Also, up here at the very top, if you notice the appointments badge, the appointments that are listed for the future are listed in blue. It has the capability of showing up to 3 appointments in the future and 2 appointments in the past. Okay? All right, the next thing I'm going to go ahead and show you is I'm going to go ahead and start on this intake template. For you providers, you would likely click on the SOAP template, but I'm going to go ahead and click right here on the graph. Our premature and Down syndrome templates are supposed to be with this upgrade corrected, and so here's our Down syndrome chart here. And this is the weight. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. And for those of you who don't already know, I'm going to go ahead and show you where that gets adjusted. So I'm going to click on the birth history up here in the patient information bar, and you would have to click on the Down syndrome check mark in order for that to show. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close these guys and get them out of the way and switch patients. Okay, so now that I'm in my new patient record, I'm going to go ahead and click over here on the side and open up my histories. And the first thing I want to point out is up here under the office services, we've renamed the standing orders to read office services rather than standing orders. And basically that was because even though there are some true standing orders in there, we wanted the verbiage to reflect what is truly on there. Okay, so what you would do is you would click on this little search feature. So this guy's new. I'm going to go ahead and click in here, and I'm going to search for my Toradol. So no longer will you have to click in here and search for your meds. You can click on this little magnifier here and select your Toradol. This diagnosis field is probably the easiest way to access your previously diagnosed assessment. So I'm going to go ahead and click here and click on patient diagnoses, and I'm going to go ahead and just pick this acute low back pain from my patient's history, click select and say OK. And now under clinical indication, I'll go ahead and enter my SIG, and I'll go ahead and click place order. So I've gone ahead and selected my medication and placed my order all in one place. All right, right here under the medical surgical interim, we do have a couple of new enhancements in here. I'm going to go ahead and click the add button. And right in here, for those of you that don't already know, you can change the specialty right from here. I'm going to leave mine on family practice, but this is a new feature. This is kind of a skinny down list, so right here having a search feature is pretty nice. So I'm going to go ahead and search for aneurysm. All right, I'm going to click again on this little magnifier. So here's my aneurysm. I'm going to go ahead and just pick this guy here. I'll click select. Now that I've identified it, it pulls there. I'll click add to grid, and that adds that to my patient history. I have that same feature here under surgical. So I'll go ahead and search for what I'm looking for. I'll search for peptic. I'll go ahead and click this guy. I'm going to pick, oh, not that one. I like that one better. I'll click select again, add to the grid. I click OK, and there it is in my history. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on the soap template. And if you notice, all right, so here are those guys that came over from the history, but notice this guy is brand new, this little history panel. So for my returning patients, when I say to them, so have you had any changes since your last visit? I can go ahead and then click on my history review and say reviewed no changes, reviewed no changes. This guy gets automatically updated by the nursing staff when they ask if they're smokers. I save and close. I just met my clinical measure. Yay for credit, right? Okay, so there's that. All right, so notice my confidential link is right here, so I don't even have to go to histories on my returning patients, which is really, really cool. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just scroll down just a smidge on this guy. I'm going to click on the AP details and super minor cosmetic change. This used to say patient details, provider details. Now it says plan instead. So super duper minor. All right, I'm going to go ahead and show you one thing. I'm going to go ahead and click right here on the labs, and I'm going to go ahead and order a lab for this. I don't know what kind of lab you would order for back pain, but I'm going to go ahead and pick a BMP for this guy. So I went ahead and I ordered a lab for that. But notice how it doesn't come out here. And some of you guys, if you're anything like me, maybe a little bit OCD, you really want it to show up here. Like, where's all your stuff? You're building your note, right? We added a refresh button. Well, not we, but NextGen did. So if I refresh, there's my BMP. So that's a nice little addition that they did right here. Okay. I'm going to click on the follow up button. That's a new guy too. Right here, I'm going to highlight my low back pain. Click on this little checkup box, and then right here under the time frame, I'm going to go ahead and just say, you know what, if you're not better in 1 week, let's go ahead and have you come back. I'm going to go ahead and click place order. I click OK. That went over to the checkout template, and my nursing staff knows that they're going to go ahead and schedule that follow-up visit. Right? Very, very cool. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to the medication module. So I'm going to go ahead and click here on the medication module. And I'm sorry I don't have like a better example of this for you, but this lisinopril was basically sent previously, right? So I sent it, let's say, at their visit earlier this morning for this patient. Patient calls me and says, you know what? I'm not even on lisinopril. I'm on losartan. You can tell I've been messing around with this guy, right? So I'm on losartan. It's not lisinopril. You know, they tongue twisters, okay? So I notice this delete button right here, and I want to go ahead and get rid of this prescription. So I'm going to go ahead and click the delete button, but I've already ERX this guy. So it says a cancel RX message may be sent to the pharmacy and a deletion reason may be required. Do you wish to do this? Now this option is actually available right now in NextGen. So I'm going to go ahead and click yes. And then it says that it's previously been done. Do you wish to do this? Now we have a deletion reason. So we have entered an error and testing. This is new. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes. And it says it's been printed or faxed. It may be audited. Okay, fine. This guy right here, the fact that it says it's deleted, that is new. Previously, it would just disappear and we didn't have any traceability for that. So that is new. New feature, good for NextGen. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and close this and close this. And I'm going to go ahead and open something up really quick. So I'm going to open up the inbox really quick. And I just want to show you something super minor, seamless to you guys because it has already been done for you. We've created med teams and tasking teams. So the most work you might have to do is re-add a favorite if you had your tasking team on there. So maybe, maybe not. But the reason why this had to be done was because we needed medication delegates. So previously what would happen was we had a team of people who could prescribe, which meant any LPN or RN that was at any location, and that was not okay. And so we had to basically lock that down, and this is how it was done. So NextGen gave us that extra security that we needed, and that's why that was done. Let me give you a little bit more of an idea of what that looks like. So give me 1 second here. All right, so basically, I'm picking on Dr. Modak here, but this is an example of what a delegate team would look like. So rather than a group of nurses for the entire company, we have a group of people that work either at that location or a group that the provider has approved to be able to refill prescriptions on his behalf. So this is kind of a generic version of that, but truly this is seamless to you guys, and basically just wanted to give you kind of an overview. So if you have any questions at all, I'm going to go ahead and just close this here. Please feel free to type that into the chat window, or we're going to go ahead and open up to calls or to questions now. And thank you and have a good day.